Hello everybody, Root Beer here, and I'm going to be starting another University of Waterloo math contest. This time it'll be the Canadian Intermediate Math Contest from the year 2018. If you'd like a copy of this contest, you can click the very first link down in the description below. I would encourage you to do so and try the contest for yourself, and that way you can come back and you can just focus on the questions where maybe you think you didn't do well enough, or maybe you think you didn't do things fast enough, and you can learn some tips, tricks, or just some insights as to maybe how to approach problems in the future if you plan on writing the Canadian Intermediate or really any math contest in your upcoming years. Okay, so this is what the paper here looks like. It's a nice little paper. This one's sort of intended for grades 9 and 10, although I believe you can write it if you are younger. There's another contest, the Canadian Intermediate Contest, written on the same day for students in grades 11 or 12. You get 2 hours to write it, and calculators are allowed. I have mine handy, but I always try and avoid it in case if you're new here. I always try and avoid using my calculator if I can. And then there's 2 parts to this contest. Part A, where you just need the final answer. And then the B part, where the questions are a little bit harder. I mean, A6 is pretty hard. There's 6 questions in A part, 3 questions in B part. But B part here, you need to write everything, full justification. So, if you do this calculation, show it on the paper. If you're going to use the Pythagorean theorem, say, by the Pythagorean theorem. Just explain your reasoning. And that's all you need to do. Explain it as though you were explaining it to another friend who you know who does math. Okay? Or explain it like you're explaining it to me. Okay? That's all you really need to do. And then, well, that's it. So there's 9 questions in total. I'm just going to be going through 1 question at a time, 1 question per video. So we'll start with A1, and then we'll go all the way down to B3 eventually. Okay? So, what have we got in store for us for A1? In the diagram, triangle ABC has angles that measure 60 degrees, 5x degrees, and 3x degrees, and we just want to know what's the value of x. Okay. Well, we've got a triangle, and I know that the sum of the angles inside a triangle is 180 degrees. So 60 degrees plus 5x degrees plus 3x degrees should be 180. So subtract 60 from both sides, and then we can group these 2 together. 5x's and 3x's would be 8x's. All right, divide by 8 on both sides. You'll get 15 degrees is equal to x degrees, so x is 15. Okay, that's all it is. If you want to, you can double check, plug it back in. This angle here will be 45 degrees, and this one here will be 75 degrees. But that's really all we need to do. And we don't actually have to show any of this work. If you just want to put your final answer of x is 15, then that's perfectly fine, because this is a Part A question. You'll get 5 out of 5 if you just give the correct answer. Okay? But if you worry that, oh, maybe I made a calculation mistake, or maybe I'm going to make a calculation mistake, you can always show your work in the booklets on the day of the contest. There is a little bit of space there, and you can just show your work just very briefly. And that way, if you wrote down 16 accidentally, let's say, you're not going to lose everything, because they'll go back, the markers will go, and they'll mark your response, the written work that you've done, and you might get some part marks, 2 or 3, or maybe even 4, depending on what you've managed to show. Okay, so that's question 1 in Part A. Up next will be question number 2. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video as we continue our paper.